On the left are concepts of the family with which we should be familiar. They support many United Nations resolutions about individual responsibility for bringing up children, shared responsibility for the family as a building block of society, and recognition that the family is essential to the society we know today. Alienation is a threat. It destroys families and undermines family values, and undermines those values that most parents would subscribe to. On the right are the ideologies that claim there's no longer a role for families, certainly not in the way that most of us would recognise. Marxian thinking, Karl Marx, was used in the 1970s, and they expropriated those ideas to drive movement towards equity and equality, particularly for women. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with that. But that philosophy subscribes to the idea that the ends justify the means. And within Marxist thinking, the family has always been a threat to the state because children are brought up with their parents' values and beliefs. The family is its own integral unit, its own hermetic container. And Marxists do not like that because the state has to own everything. There's only communal ownership and no individual aspiration in a Marxist world. In most places in the mid-70s, mid-1970s, family laws changed to introduce no-fault divorce. This helped women gain equality and helped them escape historically patriarchal and violent and abusive relationships. But it also diminished the value of marriage, diminished the value of family, because the family could be dissolved now with great ease. You didn't need a reason. So it weakens the family as a social entity, as a construction block of society. So we know parental alienation, parental alienating behaviours are an anti-family ideology. They target the family. Who gets to be a parent, on what and whose terms. Our job is to stand against that with family values. So how do we do that? Well, we stop agonising and we organise. And I'm using Florence Kennedy, an African-American activist fighting for women and minority groups for equity and equality. And her idea, and the idea that we need to stand for, is to organise ourselves into a political group, a political party, political ideas. We need to hold alienating parents to account and the experts that they engage to account, to make them responsible and accountable for change. Let's see how we can do that using the methods that are used against us. So as I've said before, parental alienation deniers and family abolitionists use Marxist political methods to attack and undermine us. The 1970s saw the development of de-alienation and liberation psychology as an anti-oppression strategy, particularly in South America, to undermine repressive and tyrannical, undemocratic regimes, particularly in Latin America. We can use those same methods to address alienation as a tyranny in the family, a tyranny against children and the parents who they love.